Yes.
For a living?
I'm an electrician by trade. I'm a journeyman electrician. Finished up my electrical apprenticeship, 4 years of schooling, did over 8,000 hours through A.L. Tyler and Sons. Worked with my father most of my life as an electrician doing residential work. And I know by code that all the wiring in here is supposed to be in MC metal clad cable, or is supposed to be in conduit pipe.
Because it's multiple resident
Right,
occupancy.
yes.
Yeah.
More than three dwellings in this unit. It's considered commercial space. What you're finding above that ceiling is all Romex, which, you know, if you ask any electrical inspector, is not going to be okay. And
That's just a
it's
vinyl
newer,
clad cable.
right? And it's a new enough cable that it wasn't something that was grandfathered. There's no way.
How old would you say that cable is?
It's got the white sheathing on it. I would say that it's less than 20 years old, and you know, in that span of time, that the laws would have come into effect that they would have needed.
Now, also this hot water that you noticed. Can you explain that? How?
Well, what I
this?
believe, and it's going to be hard to really prove without me being able to get to my meter socket, only because of this. They've tapped off of, I think, of an additional breaker, because there's not a breaker on my panel labeled for hot water. So I think that they've double tapped off of a breaker.
Which would be an illegal.
That's all. That
connection.
is also that is an improper connection. And so, in order for me to completely find that, I would have to have my amp meter on the leads coming off of the meter socket with everything in here off. See, I can't just shut breakers off, because then that's going to shut the hot water heater off, which isn't going to allow me to find that draw.
Yeah.
But that's what I believe to be happening. If you look above, which is really all you could see of that hot water heater, you won't where all the electrical coming in from the hallway, which would be the community feeds mostly, because every apartment has its own electrical panel, so you wouldn't see wiring coming in from the hallway unless it was for something based on the community of the building. None of those wires go to the hot water heater. It's sitting right above my electrical panel. I believe that my electrical panel is feeding that, and hot water was supposed to be included. Not only that, it definitely wasn't my job to pay for the hot water for the other tenants in other apartments.
Well, you talked about the electrical. You didn't explain when and how you discovered that there's actually a hot water pipe from your hot water heater going into another space. Could you explain that?
Yeah, well, you know, as I stated before, we were having problems, you know, the mildew issues, you know, it's moldy, and so this winter, I opened up the ceiling, I got up there, and that's when I noticed, you know, I was looking around, and I saw that the hot water heater, I didn't see a wire going to it, and like I said, all the electrical's coming from above, so I hopped up there and inspected it, jumped up above my shower, and felt, you know, the pipes, and it's pretty obvious, you know, you got a cold line feed into a hot water heater, you got your hot water out, and it's pretty obvious, but just by touch, which pipes are, you know, the feed, and or, you know, and which ones are you know, branching out to feed different, you know, appliances and whatnot, and sinks and tubs in my unit. Yeah. As I was feeling these pipes, I noticed a pipe going into the apartment next door, which is coming off of the hot water feed. So that's something that, if that is the hot water heater that I'm paying to use, is supplying hot water to another unit.
Yeah. Now, when you noticed these conditions, did you report them to anyone?
I reported to, like I said, I didn't report anything on the hot water heater because it's something that I can't confirm. I probably won't be able to confirm it without the okay of the power company, and due to the fact that I'm having problems with Jim, he's been very uncooperative. He's the only other person with a key to the electrical room in this building, and I did explain to them the issues about the mold. I explained to them the issues about water, because the other issue was, you know, and that's pretty obvious by the watermarks coming down my wall, that we've had over, in the year, 2 months that I've been here, 3 or 4 times where I've come in and there's been water running down my walls.
Did you give them notice of that?
I told them about that, and he said that it's not a big deal, it was a clogged toilet. That's a big deal, and nobody came in to clean up the mess. They kind of left me hanging with it.
Did you mention ever your understanding of the wiring that's in the apartment?
I have not mentioned that because like I said, I don't have the proof, you know, and then getting the proof is going to require, is going to require something a little bit, you know, more tactful as far as trying to get Jim and trying to get him to help me with his understanding that I'm an electrician and getting me into that electrical room without me telling him that I think there's a problem, because he's never going to let me in that electrical room after he hears that.
Did you explain to him your problem with the bath vent?
Yes, I did.
About when?
I've explained that problem twice. The most recent time was to Jackie, and that was in February of this year, about the time that we had, you know, a bunch of other issues raising concerning, you know, my rent and what I should have to pay in, and, you know, the issues that we're in court for right now.
What was their answer to your questions about the vent?
They kind of just turned me away. They didn't really give me an answer, or a direct answer. They would look into it. They said Jim would be in the apartment checking fire, life safety equipment in this unit, and at that time he would do it. And I still haven't received any answers back in regards to that.
So essentially, we're concerned with the leaks, we're concerned with the mold, we're concerned with improper plumbing, improper electrical, and improper vent.
Yes. On top of that, my other issue might be that the codes that we're as an electrician I'm supposed to go by tells me I've got to have a smoke detector inside and outside of every bedroom space.
Every
not
room
living.
is what was written.
Every bedroom. If they've got to have one, you've got to have one in every living space, including your living rooms and whatnot. I've only got one for the one apartment, so if my door was shut and I have fire coming over from next door,
Right.
that would be an issue.
Yeah.
Uh,
Not one in here. Yeah.
There isn't one.
Yeah.
The other issue that I'm having in here is when they did their inspection, somehow, you know, it must have passed, but they were doing their inspection. I never heard this horn go off when they were doing the
Never
fire
heard this
inspection. No, I you know, and they're very loud and very
And you
obvious.
were here?
I was here. Yeah.
Is there anything else, Nick? I mean,
There's other issues. I don't know whether, you know, regarding, you know,
those are the major issues, though.
those are the issues in regards to this apartment. I have other issues regarding, you know, how they're handling me and violations of my lease due to giving my personal information to other tenants in this building, which I find, you know, I think is a violation.
Okay.